You seem to have forgotten who you are. Should I remind you? Julian Stone fixed his intense gaze on the delicate young woman standing in front of him. Clad in a cream silk sari, she had the kind of beauty that could bewitch any man. But the man before her was Julian Stone. He was not just any man. Rose hid a soft, teasing smile behind her perfectly made-up face and said, "Yes, I know. I'm Julian Stone's wife." Saying this, she gracefully grabbed the collar of Julian's tailored suit and pulled him close. A wave of anger instantly swept across Julian's face. He jerked her hand away and pushed her. She stumbled and fell onto the bed. Before Rose could regain her balance, Julian clenched his teeth, his eyes hard as steel. "No. You can never be my wife. You trapped me by deception. Your status in this house is nothing more than the daughter of a servant, and that is where you will remain. You will never have me. Understood?" The harshness in Julian's voice left Rose speechless. "And wearing this seductive outfit won't make me your fool. There is no place in my heart for a girl like you." He removed his coat and started walking toward the bathroom. But Rose quickly got up and grabbed him from behind. She placed her hands on his chest and spoke in a voice trembling with tears. "The way was wrong, but I love you. I cannot live without you. If I saw you with someone else, I would die. How could I let you marry anyone else?" She was sobbing, trying to pull him closer. For a moment, Julian's heart softened. But then he remembered what had happened hours earlier. He immediately removed her hands from his chest and gave her a cold look, her face now flushed red from crying. Julian held her face in both hands and whispered sharply, "Did you not realize what I could do to you? After trampling on my honor, you dare claim love? Have you thought about the punishment for this crime?" His eyes were a mix of anger and helplessness as he stared at her. Rose placed her hands over his and took a deep breath. "I accept it. I accept all your punishments. Whatever you give me, I will endure. But I can never bear distance from you. Please forgive me. Let's start a new life together." She held his face desperately. But Julian pulled away, raising his eyebrows. "What nonsense are you talking? Should I forget that you humiliated me? That you disgraced me in front of everyone? Will you testify that you lied? I can never forget that. And you say you will endure punishment? Fine. Let's see how long you last. I will give you such a punishment that you will remember it your whole life. You will cry and regret every day why you committed this crime." Saying this, Julian began unbuttoning his shirt. Realizing his intention, Rose's face paled. She started stepping back. "Julian, what are you doing? Please don't do this. Think calmly. Please." Before she could move further, Julian pulled her by the arm and slammed her against his chest. "What happened? Don't you want to have me now? You wanted me. You played a huge game to get me. Why are you backing away now? Have me." He taunted. But Rose knew this was just to shame her. She closed her eyes. Julian roughly shook her face. "Be careful. Stop this shy act. You are not that kind of girl. You are shameless. Shame does not suit you." Saying this, he brutally pressed his lips to hers. It was not gentle. It was hard, angry, filled with hatred and rage. After a while, he suddenly pushed her back onto the bed. Rose knew then that she had made a terrible mistake by entering Julian Stone's life. She remembered the old days, when Julian used to laugh at her mischief. Rose Siddick, now Rose, was the only child of Ruth. Ruth was a widow. Eleanor Stone had brought them to her mansion out of pity after Ruth's husband died. Ruth could never repay that debt, so she dedicated her life to serving the Stone household. As Rose grew older, her nature changed. Ruth always told her, "You are not like them. There is a world of difference between you and these people." But Rose never listened. She loved roaming the mansion, bringing it to life with her mischief. Eleanor had no daughter of her own, so she adored Rose. Eleanor had 2 sons, Julian and Damien Stone. Damien was younger, and he and Rose never got along. Their fights were legendary. But Julian always took Rose's side. Slowly, Rose began to feel that Julian liked her, and love for him blossomed in her heart. One day, Rose was watering the plants. Julian came up behind her and scared her. "Julian! You scared me to death. Does anyone scare people like that?" Rose complained. Julian laughed. "Oh, so you were lost in your thoughts?" In revenge, Rose turned the hose on him and soaked his clothes. Julian was stunned. "Rose! What have you done? I was ready to go to the office, and you've ruined my clothes. You will be punished for this." He grabbed her arm playfully. Rose panicked. "Please forgive me. I didn't know you were going to the office." But Julian took the hose and soaked her too. They were both completely drenched. Ruth watched from a distance, furious. She decided to teach her daughter a lesson later. Suddenly, Rose slipped. Julian caught her in his arms. Her face turned red with shame. She quickly pushed away. I should go upstairs. Mom is waiting," she said and ran off. Julian shook his head. "You drive me crazy," he muttered. When Rose returned to their quarters, Ruth scolded her harshly. "What was that, Rose? Do you know what people will say if they see you and Julian together? We live on their charity. They can throw us out any time." But Rose was lost in her own thoughts. "Mom, you don't understand. I know now. Julian loves me as much as I love him." Hearing this, Ruth slapped her. "Have you lost your mind? Julian Stone is a successful businessman. You are a servant's daughter. How dare you dream so big? From today, you are not to go into the mansion." Rose was heartbroken but convinced Julian loved her. She remembered how he looked at her. Then one day, Damien saw her. "Rose, what are you doing here? Why don't you stay in your quarters?" Rose pouted. "I've come to complain about you to Julian." Damien grabbed her arm. "Stop chasing my brother. Do you know who he is marrying? Marilyn, our Aunt Fiona's daughter. Don't try to seduce him. He's innocent." Rose's eyes widened. "If that's true, ask Julian yourself. He loves me. He has confessed. Come, I'll show you." She ran toward Julian's room. Inside, she deliberately slipped and fell. Julian was working on his laptop but rushed to her. "Rose, are you okay? How many times have you fallen?" He offered his hand. Rose pretended to cry. "I can't stand. I think I've sprained my ankle badly." Julian panicked. "Give me your hand." He gently helped her up and, when she stumbled again, lifted her in his arms. Rose wrapped her arms around his neck. She saw Damien watching from the door and winked at him. Damien was shocked and walked away, furious. Julian laid her on the bed. "Where does it hurt?" Rose pointed to her ankle. Julian examined it and then twisted it slightly. Rose screamed. "Sorry, but I have to twist it to fix the sprain." "Is the pain better now?" Julian asked. "Yes," she said, then suddenly hugged him. "Thank you so much. You always help me." Julian was stunned. He stood stiff, his hands clenched. She pulled away and ran out. She found Damien. "See? Now you won't accuse me of lying, will you? Julian loves me. Don't ever call me a servant's daughter again, or I'll tell Julian, and he'll deal with you." Damien was furious. He wanted Julian to marry Marilyn. Meanwhile, Ruth took Rose to their village. Damien saw an opportunity. He wanted his mother to finalize Julian's engagement to Marilyn. But Julian kept refusing. Finally, Damien blurted out, "Brother, you don't want to marry Marilyn because you love someone else. Just admit you want to marry Rose. Julian was shocked. What are you saying? She's a child. She has no father. She's needy. Just because I care for her doesn't mean I love her. How could you think I'd have such feelings for her? Damien was relieved. He apologized and quickly arranged for the engagement. Julian didn't care much. He was focused on his business. When Rose returned from the village, Damien brought her sweets. Guess what? Julian is engaged to Marilyn. Rose's face went pale. She stopped going to the mansion. Eleanor missed her help with the wedding preparations and called for her. Rose, your brother Julian is getting married. You need to help with the preparations, Eleanor said. Rose's heart broke. She started preparing Marilyn's wedding outfits, avoiding Julian. One night, Julian saw her decorating the stairs. Rose, where have you been hiding? You've disappeared. Startled, Rose slipped. Julian caught her. Let me go. What are you doing? She snapped. Julian was confused. What's wrong with you? Rose pushed him away and ran. Damien approached Julian. Brother, if she hadn't gone to the village, your wedding wouldn't have happened. Julian didn't understand. But he couldn't stop thinking about Rose's behavior. On the wedding day, Julian was ready as the groom. Rose wore a beautiful, expensive gown. But before the wedding, she took a broken piece of glass and cut her waist, making it bleed. She wanted to create a scene. At the wedding, she danced, then suddenly screamed and fell. She ran to her room. Julian followed. Rose, are you hurt? He asked, worried. She had already removed her dupatta. When Julian came close to bandage her wound, she called for help. The door opened, and everyone saw them. Rose ran to Eleanor. Auntie, look what he did. He's saying strange things. He tried to. Ruth started crying. My daughter's honor is ruined. Who will marry her now? Marilyn and her family walked out. I knew it. I can't marry Julian, Marilyn said. Eleanor was furious. Julian, you have made a terrible mistake. You will marry Rose right now. Julian was helpless. The wedding happened in minutes. He was furious. He knew Rose had trapped him. That night, he confronted her. You wanted me? You've destroyed my honor. Now you will pay for this every single day. For months, he treated her coldly, using her only for his needs and then pushing her away. Rose regretted everything. One day, she confessed the truth to Eleanor. Eleanor, feeling betrayed, threw her out of the mansion. Ruth had already left for the village. A storm was raging. Rose collapsed outside the gates. Julian found her unconscious. At the hospital, the doctor told him she was pregnant. Julian told his mother. She's pregnant. We have to take care of the baby. Eleanor hugged him. I made a mistake. I forgive her. But Julian said, I haven't forgiven her. I'm just resting for the baby's sake. Once the child is born, her punishment will start again. She humiliated me in front of everyone. He continued to be harsh, but as her pregnancy progressed, a strange change began. One day, Rose fell on the stairs. Julian caught her. Can't you watch where you're going? My baby is in your belly. If anything happens to my child, I won't spare you. Rose was broken. She became weaker. One night, she refused to take her medicine and passed out. The doctor scolded Julian. She has severe anemia. If this continues, both mother and child will be in danger. Julian started caring for her gently. She gave birth to a baby girl. The moment he held his daughter, all his anger and complaints vanished. He realized what Rose had endured. He kissed her forehead. Slowly, all misunderstandings faded. Their life filled with happiness, with their daughter at the center of it all.